Use them. Make the most of them. You've worked hard for them. Use them. Enjoy them. Hello, and the warmest of welcomes to today's video. For those of you who haven't seen my face before, hi, I'm Nick, fab to have you here. For those of you who have seen my face before, thank you so much for joining me again. Hope you enjoy my videos. I put out videos roughly 3 times a week on a range of different topics, anywhere from fashion, slightly more personal topics. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, please head down, hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell. I love chatting with you all. I'm all about living life loud, and what that means to me is being your authentic self, being proud to be you, celebrating who you are, celebrating yourself, and of course, celebrating others. Are you trying to get in on the action? Come here. Come here. Come here. Puppy. Come here. If you want to say hi, then come and say hi. Hey? Instead of just shouting at me from the floor. Hey, princess. Say hello. Yeah? Good girl. Okay, so what are we talking about today? We're talking about wear and tear and why I don't think it's something to be feared. And it's an interesting topic because, you know, people, particularly when it comes to higher end items, are very concerned about using them and the potential to devalue them based on the fact that they will show signs of wear, that they will show signs of use, that they won't be in box fresh condition. And I think a lot of this depends on your motivation as to why you buy the pieces. If you buy pieces because you simply love them, you love to look at them, but you know going in you have no intention of using them, completely fine. If you go in with the intention of using them and are almost too scared after the fact, then I think it's worth considering why you have them. Because I am someone who, from a wear and tear perspective, does not fear it. I think that it is important to use your pieces. I think it's important to buy pieces that you know fit with your personal style, but also fit with items that you'll be prepared to be comfortable using. So I have a collection that is grained leathers, coated canvases, patent, denims, these PVC hard wearing materials, because I'm someone who likes to use their bags. I'm someone who likes to use their shoes. I'm someone who likes to use their small leather goods. I like to see things put through their paces. I have paid good money for those pieces. I want to use them. I want to style them. I want to take them out and about. And I don't want to be concerned about the fact that they might show that they're being used, that they look like they've, slightly been through it. That's okay. That is absolutely okay. Yes, hello. Go on then, you can go up there. I think that's okay. I think it's okay for your shoe to show signs of wear. But it all depends on why you're buying it. Take for example, and mine aren't a brilliant example of this because I've not worn them very much, but they do look okay actually considering. So take the Louboutin. You're determined to disrupt this video, aren't you? Sorry about that. Take my Louboutin Suede, okay? Now, we all know that one of the pulls of Louboutins is this red sole, and I'm not someone who normally goes for red, but for a Louboutin, yes, I will go with red, okay? Now, because of that, and because of the material and how it's done, it wears. It does not always stay in pristine condition. Mine look okay. I mean, mine, from when I have worn them, have little sort of dots in them from stones, etc. Have a little bit of marking there. But, I mean, these have been, car to curb to table kind of shoes. I've not really worn them all that extensively. I've stood on sort of carpet in them as well when I've gone to an event or something and I've worn them, but they've not really been worn in a way that would show here. However, they're going to wear. And when you buy them, you have to know that. If you want them to stay pristine, then they have to stay on the shelf. Fortunately for suede Kates, they're so uncomfortable, you don't wear them very often anyway, so they're likely to stay in better condition for longer. But it's a shoe, it lives on the ground. If you're in a climate like I live in, with the UK, for example, you can't guarantee it's going to be sunny, you can't guarantee it's going to be warm, you can't guarantee it's not going to rain, that there's not going to be mud, that all sorts. It's a shoe. So you've got to know that going in and be okay with the fact that it is going to get a little bit scuffed. Take, for example, my Sophia Webster. This is the Jessica Watermelon Pump. You know, look at the sole, and it started to scuff a little bit here. Guess what? It's a shoe. It happens. I still display them because they're gorgeous shoes. But yeah, it's lost a little bit of its green edge here, and the sole of it isn't pristine. I've worn these 5 times. I've worn them in London. I nearly lost the heel of this on an escalator. Like, this shoe has gone through it, but that's fine because it's a shoe. It happens. I bought them to wear them. I bought them to use them. It's part of the story. So those feature like that. But, you know, I know a lot of people who don't want to wear something like a Louboutin because they get nervous about the fact that it's going to mark. That's, you know, unless it's just for owning, you know, and just if that's the case, it's okay to be honest with yourself and say, I just want to own them. I don't want to wear them, I just want to own them. That's completely fine. I also think that there are a lot of pieces that look really beautiful as they age. And they take on a different quality as you use them and as they age. So an example of this would be a Bayswater. So you know I love a Bayswater. So this is one that has been used a little bit, but not a huge amount. So it still has quite a lot of its structure. So this is a heritage Bayswater, still has a fair amount of its structure. Now, I did mark this one the first time I used it because I scratched the hardware. Against certain individuals would really struggle with that because immediately it's devalued. I'm not looking to get anything out of it. I'm not looking to sell it. So I'm cool. This is fine. So, but it's still got a fair amount of its structure. Take this one as an example. This is slightly more aged. So you can see the corners have started to curl a bit. It's a bit more slouchy. It's less structured. It's got little marks here and there. So it's got some discoloration. But I think it's still really beautiful, and I do like the fact that it is a little bit more relaxed and a little bit more carefree, and it has a different quality. It doesn't feel quite so prim and proper. It doesn't feel quite so formal. There's a time and a place for the formality. There's a time and a place for it to feel a bit more casual and a bit more slouchy. Now, of course, you can't get that. Well, I'm saying of course. To be honest, in most bags, you can't get that out of the same bag. It's very rare that you can have a bag that looks super casual in one sense and then suddenly it's super dressy in another. That's a rarity. So you often have to have multiple versions of the same bag, which fortunately when it comes to the Bayswater I do. And I think this is beautiful. So I love the fact that these have these different qualities. Both beautiful, both fabulous in their own right, but have a slightly different quality at the moment. And this, over time, I'm sure will slouch. It also depends on the leather that it's in. So a mock croc, for example, used my mock croc so much. Very formal, very structured. That doesn't slouch a huge amount. That won't age in the same way that this one did. So, you know, it all just depends. But like I said, I don't think wear and tear is something to be feared. I think it's part of the story of the bag. Now, if you are looking to get money out of your pieces, of course, the better condition they're in, the better your chances of getting money back out of them. But that, to me, detracts from the joy. Now, if the joy comes to you from simply displaying them, that's cool. But if you don't necessarily display them or get a huge amount of joy from looking at them and you're just waiting for the moment that you can sell it, question why you have it. Question why you have it. Use it or make it decorative. But in one way, I think it should have a use case in your life. Now, what would I recommend? If you are someone who fears wear and tear, but wants to use your pieces in some capacity. Consider your materials. So would lambskin be the best material for you if you fear wear and tear? Probably not. Now, I know there are certain bags that only come in lambskin these days, but think about whether that should be for you, or think about if you might be able to find an alternative, you know, a derivative of. Consider the pre-loved market. The reason I say that is twofold. Firstly, if you have a bag style that only comes in a specific material, I'm talking bags now more specifically, but you know, the same could apply for shoes, but shoes are different. Shoes wear a lot worse than a bag because the amount of control you have over it is different. But take, for example, a Chanel Mini. They only, I believe, sell them in lambskin or sort of delicate variants, sequins and tweeds and things. Years gone by, they used to do them caviar. Caviar is a more durable leather. So consider the pre-loved because you might be able to get a material that is no longer available, which is more durable. The other thing being that you can get a really good price point on the pre-loved market, which might bring it down to a price point that you feel more comfortable using it. Also, if it's already got a little bit of wear and tear on it, the damage is already done. So why would you baby it? Because someone else has already put a few marks on it, used it, you know. And a good example of that for me is this Prada. You know, it's got, where is it? It's got like cracked glazing and things here, but I don't care because I'd have done that. I'd have probably marked it, and it doesn't really bother me, but I might get that done dependent on the cost. But someone's already used it and someone's already loved it, and I'm just continuing the story, and it doesn't bother me because, as I mentioned with this, the first day I used it, I scratched the hardware. Who'd have thought it? You know, it was a complete accident. I didn't even know how I did it, but I put this big scratch on the hardware. I have no idea how. But the first day, devalued. But I wasn't looking to maintain the value of it. I was looking to use it and love it, which is, you know, the way that I've been using these pieces ever since. Yeah. So I just think that's a good example. So think about your material. Think about your, think about where you buy it. Think about pre-loved. You know, think about brand, because some brands are known for making sturdier pieces than others. Some also use materials that are a little bit sturdier. I mentioned lambskin. I mentioned caviar. You know, consider, for example, Prada, Saffiano leather. Louis Vuitton, epi leather or coated canvas. Longchamp, nylon. You know, there are lots of variations that you can buy on the market today, and just have a think about what works for you. But what I feel sad is when I see pieces that don't get used just because the individual is concerned about how it's going to fare. And, you know, I am someone who maybe should be more careful. But I will take a designer bag to a bar. I will take, where is it? You know, I took my Prada clutch to a nightclub. I've got a mark on it. Oh dear. Oh, I've got one there as well. Oh well. I took this to a nightclub. Okay? So drinks, all sorts. But guess what? It's Saffiano leather. And if it gets marked, as I've just shown you, it gets marked. These things happen. I'm certainly not going to lose sleep over it. I bought this pre-loved. I got it at a good price. I bought it in the most durable material I could. And you know what? Whatever happens, happens. And you've just got to roll with it. It's a bag at the end of the day. It's a object. And I want to use it. And if I have one great night out and love using it, and it gets a couple of marks on it, that's worth a lot more to me than having it pristine for 6 months extra sat on the shelf. So I'm a very big advocate of use your pieces, but know your personality, know what will work for you, know what will stress you, and go with that. But I do definitely encourage anybody who buys any product, but you know, particularly high-end products, use them. Make the most of them. You've worked hard for them. Use them. Enjoy them. That's what they're there for. okay? So don't be afraid. Make the most of them. And if the value goes, the value goes. It's life. There we have it, everyone. A slightly rambly, waffly video, but I hope you got my point. Basically, to summarise, use your pieces, enjoy them, make the most of them. Thank you so much as always for watching. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye now. Mwah.